Since 1994, folks have trusted Neptune Radiator and Auto Repair with their automotive needs. From tires to tune-ups, we do everything except glass and bodywork. We're a complete auto care center. We service all makes and models. Let us be your one-stop shop. With over 40 years combined experience, we have ASE Master Mechanics. Call 620-231-5890 and ask for Jeff or Michelle. Neptune Auto Repair, 602 West 4th Street, Pittsburgh.
Hi, everybody. Tom Van Hoy with this week's Pitt State Football Showcase, brought to you by Neptune Auto Service. With Pitt State senior All-American wide receiver John Brown this week, All-American return man as well, off a scintillating performance at Lincoln on Saturday in Jefferson City. 9 catches, 237 yards, 4 touchdowns. Rushed for a touchdown as well. The MIAA Offensive Player of the Week. Scored 30 points, had a 45-yard punt return as well. How about 294 all-purpose yards? Now 27 career touchdown catches, tying Ronnie West, #1 all-time in Pitt State history. West won the Harlan Hill Award as the best player in Division II in 1991. John a finalist last year and in the running again this year. The 30 points he scored, by the way, against Lincoln tied the PSU single-game scoring record. The 294 all-purpose yards, one shy of the record. The 4 touchdown catches tied a single-game Pitt State record as well, as did the 5 overall touchdowns. Thus far this year, 24 catches, 533 yards, 7 touchdowns. West still holds the single-season yardage mark at 1,495. Remember now that Ronnie West played just 2 years at Pitt State. The single-season Pitt State touchdown receiving record is 16. Jermaine Carpenter set that record on that outstanding 2004 ball club. Through 4 games, the Pitt State offense this year, averaging 57 points. How about 607.5 yards per game? You want balance? 303 rush, 304.5 pass. Been good so far this year. Will be tested, though, in the next 4 weeks, starting with Abilene Christian, a 1AA team in Pittsburgh this Saturday for homecoming. But the Gorillas coming off that 59-38 win at Lincoln on Saturday. 787 total yards, and John Brown a big part of that. Why was he so successful last Saturday at Lincoln?
Because my own offensive lineman did what they had to do, and the quarterback made the right reads and made good decisions.
Were those plays that went for touchdowns, were those plays that were called, or does Anthony Abinoa have an opportunity maybe to look out there and see if he has the matchup that you guys want?
I mean, that was the way the plays were called. Good play calling by Coach Rampy. You know, he knew what's best, so, you know, it was great timing.
Well, with your background and the success you've had the last couple of years, are you finding that teams are defending you differently? Are they trying to double-team you a little bit more this year?
The first 3 games, you know, they was kind of double coveraging, but Lincoln gave a little man-to-man a couple of times, and they tried a double coverage, but I found ways to beat it. Yeah,
when you see that, what are you thinking?
When I see double coverage, I mean, I'm just thinking it's time for one of my other receivers to step up and make a big play, so I can get out of this situation so they can go back to their regular defense so I can get back to doing what I'm doing.
What kind of relationship do you have with Anthony Abinoa, your quarterback? It seems like you guys have been anyway, last year and this year on the same page. A pretty good relationship there?
Yeah, we have a pretty good relationship. You know, I'm hard on him at times, you know, like treat practice just like a game. When he make a bad throw or something, like, you know, I give him like a crazy look to let him know, like, you got to get right. So, like, you know, treat it just like a game. So, you know, we have a good relationship. We sit down and talk about what we planning to do, like, on certain plays and everything.
How much better is he this year than he was 1 year ago?
He's way better. Like, you could tell he's more confident. And, you know, he's ready to take control of the team and lead us the way we have to go.
Tom Van Hoy with Pitt State wide receiver John Brown. Pitt State Football Showcase brought to you by Neptune Auto Service. So did John and quarterback Anthony Abinoa get together this summer?
like towards the end of the summer because I went back home and spent time with my daughter. But I came back like 3 weeks before camping. You know, we got the timing down, but it seemed like I never left because things were even better by the time I got back.
I talked a moment ago about the success you've had in the first 2 years at Pitt State. Were there things coming into this season that you thought you needed to work on?
Yeah, I just felt like things like trying to beat double coverages and, you know, put on a couple of pounds, you know, to be more explosive. And I know like this time like I'm gonna take a lot of hits because when I make catches, it'll be a lot of defenders around, so I put on a lot of weight.
Do you feel like if that ball is in the area, you're going to catch it?
Oh, most definitely.
Have you always been a wide receiver at all levels?
Yes, ever since I was 6 years old, I've been a receiver.
What do you think your strengths are as a receiver?
My strengths, you know, great route running, I get out my breaks quick, great hand and eye coordination, and even though like I'm small, most people take my size for like granted. So when the ball is in the air, like I jump higher than what it looks, so I can play the ball like good ball skills.
Tom Van Hoy today with John Brown, the Pitt State Football Showcase brought to you by Neptune Auto Service. You mentioned, you know, maybe not the greatest size and stature, but do you use that to your advantage? You use that as motivation?
Yes, I always use it as motivation because my size been talked about like the longest, like since I've been playing football. So like I wasn't gonna be big enough to do this or do this at receiver. So you know I'm just proving people wrong.
It's probably also a situation where you work pretty hard at it. Your work ethic's got to be pretty good, isn't it?
Yes, real good. Work out every day. No day I don't take a break at all. So, you know, I feel like I got a point to prove every time. Like every day is like an interview. So I just step up and do what I have to do.
When you came to Pittsburg State, did you have any idea that you would have the kind of success that you've had so far?
Well, not really. You know, I was just basically like, you know, I always been a hard worker, but I was trying to do everything for my brother, you know, do things to make him happy, like win a national championship, but I didn't know how close I was to, like, breaking records and everything.
What's your confidence level right now?
You know, I'm always confident, so, you know, my confidence has been the same since I came in Pitt, you know, I never get, like, overconfident, you know, I just, you know, I treat everyone the same.
For those that may not know, I know you're out of Homestead, Florida, and you left there and went to Mars Hill to begin with and ended up a redshirt into Coffeyville Community College. How did you end up at Pittsburg State? Just practicing one day, Coffeyville, I was just on the practice squad, and, you know, Coach Gorman came out one day when we was practicing, and, you know, he liked everything I was doing, and he pulled me to the side and was like, he wanted to offer me. So I took the scholarship and I came. That's how I became a Gorilla. I know you're familiar with Harlan Hill situation, the award there. You've been in the running and will be again this year. What does that mean to you? You know, it feels good, like, just to be in that category, but, you know, winning games and, you know, doing what I have to do, like what my teammates expect me to do. Like, I can be a run-up for that, but, you know, just take it one day at a time. Like, it's not a big deal, really. Did you know anything about Ronnie West, or have you ever met Ronnie West before? You broke one of his records and probably going to break a few more along the line. Yeah, I met Ronnie West before my first year here, and, like, everybody was telling, like, him that I might be the next him, like, I have a good chance, and, you know, like, he didn't too much believe it until, like, the season started rolling around.
So, like, it feels good just to, like, be in that category with him and, do the things I talked about. Because when I met him, I told him I was going to break his record. So I was going to put it behind.
As a senior this year, do you have a different approach? Is there a sense of urgency at all since this is your last go-around?
Not really. Well, you could say because, like, ever since I came to Pitt, they expected big things out of me. So, I've been a leader, like, since I came here. So, it's basically like I treat it the same, everybody, like, follow my lead because, I'm making plays and everything.
I know the numbers have been prolific offensively this year through the first 4 games. How good do you think the offense can be, and how good do you think this football team can be this year?
Oh, we can be real good, We've been making plays, like now it's time like to step up, like where it get real in October, So like it doesn't matter who we play, we're gonna make plays and we're gonna do the same thing we've been doing.
Tom Van Hoy visiting today with John Brown, the Pitt State Football Showcase, brought to you by Neptune Auto Service. So you like to return the ball too, don't you? You've had good success in that regard.
Yes, I love to return the ball.
What does it take to be successful on a kick return and punt return?
On kick return, punt return, kick return, you just have to trust your blockers to make the right blocks, and it's a certain hole you got to look for to take. So, like my blockers, they've been doing a real good job for me and Marquise, leading the way for us and everything to get good yard average. And punt return is just you just have to make sure you make the catch first. And there's so much space out in the open, so if one person come out of their lane, it can be returned for a big play.
When you first came to Pitt State, and I know we'd mentioned that you played at Mars Hill, then you redshirted at Coffeyville, so it's been a while since you'd played. And think back to that first Missouri Western game. That was a big game for Pittsburg State that year, your first year, and what was it, about 3 minutes in, you returned a punt 84 yards for a touchdown? That's a pretty good way to start your career, wasn't it?
Yes, it was a pretty good way. Talking to Zach Dickey, like, when I first came in the summer, and, like, I was telling a couple players on the team, like, the first time I touched the ball, I'm going to score. So, they didn't believe me. They thought I was just talking, and when I got the punt return, took it all the way. And then they was really like, well,
are you surprised? Well, let me ask you this. Through the first 4 games this year, has the opposing teams kicked the ball to you, or are they trying to kick it away from you?
It's like basically they punt return, they kicking away from me. But kickoff return, the first 2 games, they actually kicked it to me. No, the first 3 games, they actually kicked it to me. And, I just had to show them like I still had it. I guess because it's a new season, they thinking I don't have it no more. So I just got to prove my point.
Does Pitt State, or do you guys do anything specific to try to get you the ball on the kickoff? Because I would think they try to kick it away from you.
Yes, we try to do different things, like act like we switching sides to get the kicker to think I'm going this way and I come back the other way to try to get them to kick it. But, sometimes it works. But punt return is just, they're not falling for it.
Have you set any goals for this year, anything specific you'd like to accomplish? I know you mentioned, obviously, from a team standpoint, but individually, anything you'd like to accomplish specifically this year?
Yes, I have big goals. I'm trying to have, 1,500 receiving yards and at least, 20 touchdowns.
You like to run with the ball, too, and they give it to you occasionally?
Oh, yes, most definitely. Do anything to help the team win.
Hey, you mentioned that you have a young daughter, and how difficult that is it as a college football player to have a young daughter and to be able to handle the academic side? I know you said you went back over the summer to visit her, but is it difficult for you?
Yeah, it's real difficult. It's hard. It's hard for her too. She was kind of upset when I left, but you know, it like come a time and point like where you got to do what you have to do to make sure your daughter, like, or your child will be all right. So, you know, I just take it as motivation. You know, it won't be long before, like, I see her again. So, you know, I just go hard every day for her and just make the best out of it.
Do you think this team has an opportunity to make a run like it did 2 years ago for the national championship?
Oh, yes, most definitely.
And we'll wrap it up here with John Brown. And John, aspirations to play in the NFL at the next level, you think that's a possibility for you down the road?
Yes, I think it is. I think it can happen. You know, just like all the down talks and everything, you know, I think I can do it.
That's Pitt State senior wide receiver John Brown on this week's edition of the Pitt State Football Showcase, brought to you by Neptune Auto Service. PSU home on Saturday afternoon, homecoming, Abilene Christian coming in. Then on the road at Central Missouri, play Northwest Missouri in Kansas City a final time before going to Missouri Western St. Joe. So some tough tests coming up for the Gorillas. I'm Tom Van Hoy. I'm Tom